Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? Leo Naranjo IV, candidate for governor 2026 race, enjoying the tranquility of my backyard after watering plants, pulling a few weeds. A little scruffy underneath there. Woo, gotta shave. Not very gubernatorial-like, am I? So, today is Saturday, and one of the last Saturdays of March, and lo and behold, oh my gosh, the campaign trail is blowing up, folks. Ish is happening. Stuff is going on. A lot of things taking place. Some of it good, some of it not so good. Let me start off with the pros. Leo Naranjo IV. Yes, I am running for governor. Yes, I am a candidate. Yes, I am on the Secretary of State's list, as well as 12 other people on the Republican side of the House. 24 Democrats, 23 non-party preference people. Talk about vote splitting, talk to them, because they'll be yanking some votes from both sides. Not just the Democrat side either. Some of them are Republicans that are pissed off too. So those are the three big parties. One Libertarian, I think one Greenpeace. There's only two abnormal parties other than the top two Democrat-Republican picks and the no-party preference picks. There's only two smaller parties being representative in the mix. Combined total, therefore, of near 60 to 65 candidates that are going to be on the ballot. But the news only highlights 4 or 5. Heavy on the demo side, not so much on the Republican side. They only highlight the 2 on the Republican side. The only people that you know of are Bianco and Hilton. That's because they don't give time, respect, or due diligence to anybody else running. Kind of amazing, isn't it? The ladies in Mount Diablo down there in Danville, they held a forum, 30-minute conversations with Chad Bianco and Greg Alba, except Greg Alba was never on the list to be a candidate on the ballot. Instead of 10 minutes, I probably would have enjoyed a 30-minute conversation with those folks. But God has a plan, and things happen. Pat Nixon event, we had an interesting group of people show up there. A lot of Hilton supporters, a lot of Cheon supporters. Again, Greg Alba's there. He's going to be speaking. And lo and behold, he doesn't make the list. Secretary of State roster. His name is not there. What's he doing? Cheon spoke for a long time. Whoa! Last 24 hours, last 36 hours, things have altered greatly for Mr. Cheon's candidacy. He's no longer on the roster either to be a candidate for selection in the 2026 election. What happened? Something went south, and he dropped. Or he was dropped, one or the other, depending on who you speak to. That's a surprise move. That's a little bit of a shakeup. Now, there are people that are going to tell you that Cheon didn't matter because he was never going to pull percentages anyway. They say that a lot about people other than the top 2 establishment picks. But Cheon did have a following. He did have some money. He had been investing some time and some effort into his campaign. I'm pretty sure he didn't think it was insignificant what he contributed to the cause. God has a plan. The Lord sets us on thrones and takes us away just as fast. So why am I saying this now, as we're barreling towards the GOP convention? Well, what happened to Cheon's 66 delegates? Poof, they're gone. What happened to Mr. Alba's delegates? Poof, they're gone too. Mr. Anthony Isles, poof, and Ebony. She might still be there. But I don't see Ebony's name on the list either. Poof! A lot of people just lost delegates. Will there be a reconstruction of voting? Of course not. 1,500 people, many of them already given up proxies to vote, carry out votes, figuring out who's who. The GOP convention, kind of chicken-ish. that the GOP is not letting people speak prior to having a vote. They want to have a vote and then let the people who acquire certain amounts of votes to talk. You let Bianco talk. You're going to let Hilton talk. And I dare say, as a military veteran, where the hell does he pull one over on me? Well, he's rich. He's famous. He's got 200 votes. You're a nobody. Yeah, he's a nobody too. You just don't know it yet. I think that guy in OnlyFans should have proven that to you. No matter how much money you have, when the Lord reaches down to touch you and it's not in a good way, that's the end of that. Your money's not going to do jack shit for you. Pardon my French. That man had billions of dollars on my OnlyFans or my fans or whatever the hell he did, and he's dead in his 40s. There needs to be a rule construct for the Republican Party when you have candidates, unless you want to fix the race that you always complain about the Democrats doing. If you have candidates that are bold enough to be on the Secretary of State website and they're bold enough to be at the convention for an endorsement meeting, they should have an opportunity to speak. What the hell are you people afraid of? What are you worried about? I can tell you from my personal bias view, you're worried about I'm going to upstage Hilton and Bianco, which I've already done a couple of times. I know it, they know it. But be that as it may, let me tell you about what I'm not about. What I'm not about is taking California to bankruptcy status. We have a $1.2 trillion debt problem with public employee pensions. My goal is to fix that problem. Mr. Hilton's goal is to take it down to bankruptcy. It's illegal to do it now, so we'd have to amend the Constitution, and you have to accept the possibility that we might have to go down that path. I want you folks out there who pretend to be smarter than me, who might have convinced themselves that they are, to seriously look at that outcome. Taking California to bankruptcy. The fourth or the fifth largest economy in the world declaring bankruptcy in the United States of America. Oh, and aren't we trendsetters? What would that say for the rest of our country? Unions, you think you're pissed now? All your contracts would be null and void. All contracts with the state would be null and void. Everything would pretty much be null and void. Credit rating, through the roof, sucks. Credit rating going down, making things go higher in cost. The inability to borrow money, the inability to get good rates if you could borrow money. What would that do for you and me? Whoa, some of them pensions might be in a dubious status of being unpaid because they're unfunded. Debtors in line, everybody else second. Citizens last. But don't forget, we have an illegal population that we're going to take care of. That's Steve Hilton. Don't believe me? Look at my Pat Nixon review, the video that I put out about that. Part 1 on the Pat Nixon Gubernatorial Forum at the 30.00 to 30.35 minute mark in that forum, not necessarily a debate. That's Mr. Hilton making that statement, not me. But we have people blindly following him. Going a little further, they're blindly following him because they're all about pro-life. That's a Republican Party platform. Well, that's been pissed out the window. We're selling our souls over that. We're no longer a party of pro-life. We're a party of adaptability. Pro-life sounds good for the moment, but we more pro-choice. Steve is pro-choice, along with 57% of the other Americans he clamored about wanting that option. What else is not good about that man for this state? Well, if you listen to his most recent podcast that they threw up there after the regular debate fell apart, Ms. Patel, online personality, hosted a debate with him included. And of course, Mr. Hilton wanted to let people know that we have a face we tell the public because we read scripts, campaign promises. Whether or not we truly mean to carry them out is a whole nother subject for him. the Pat Nixon event, he stood there on stage along with everybody else and proclaimed, "I pledge to reduce government." Since that debate, which was on the, not debate forum, since that forum on the 12th of March till today, 27th of March, 2 weeks ago, he's already come up with 5 new government agencies for California. It's not reducing government, that's expanding government. And in every role he expands, he removes himself from the responsibility of running this state and putting it on somebody else's lap to be somebody else's problem. The golden shower, that bull cocky stuff that he's pushing around, that grand idea that if you vote for Steve Hilton, 5 other people will be elected at the same time. No, it doesn't work that way, dude. This is America, not England. Again, Ms. Patel, her forum for you, your concept is you want to be able to do certain things, and your AG, your Attorney General, Mr. Gates, is there. Suck it in there, buddy. Here he is, Mr. Gates. Good afternoon, folks. How are you doing? What is that all about? He wants Mr. Gates to rubber stamp what he's trying to do. He wants Mr. Gates to be the legal shield against his shenanigans. Ladies and gentlemen, we have that now with Mr. Bonta and Gino Gavin Newsom. Gino says something stupid and Bonta runs over there to try to figure out how to pass it legally. Is that what we want? More of the same? With a different face and an R behind his name? I really don't care who gets elected for AG as long as the job that they need to perform is thus. Maintenance of the law, application of the law, fair and across the spectrum, up and down this state. Wrong is wrong, right is right, call it as you see it. But I don't expect the AG to come licking my bootstraps every time I do something to run cover for me. What do I need that for? If an AG does that, then they're not very independent, are they? Seems like they're controlled by the governor. The governor has influence to offer opinions. Yes, I agree with that. Hey, I don't think I like where you're going with that investigation. But as far as impeding it, as far as telling him don't do it because I said so, come on, people. Is that what we want? Because that's what we have now. And look how far that's gotten us. Every time somebody turns around and burps, Bonta's right there to sue them, but not for the benefit of California. It's to the detriment of the civilians, the citizens. And you people on that golden shower ticket, Miss Romero, Mr. Gates, Mr. Herb, and anybody else that he puts on that nonsense, are all of you for taking California bankrupt? Because if you're on that ticket, that's what you're subscribing to. You know, we know it's easy to lie on a campaign trail. Hell, we've seen that for over 30 years. Mr. Hilton's already making promises that we know damn well he can't keep. We've heard that for the last 30 years. You've never heard the word promise or guarantee in any of my campaign speeches. And if you have, I give you the reasons of why I'm using that word, but for the most part, I don't use them because we've already seen promises and guarantees from politicians for over 30 years, and where are we at today? I'm telling you something you haven't lived through or you haven't experienced already. Mr. Hilton wants to lock gas prices at $3 a gallon. Freeze is what they called it. We've seen that back in the 70s for those of us left here who remember that time frame. Price freezes. How did that work out for us then? You think it's going to be any different here? And why would you settle for $3 a gallon frozen priced gas when around the world, in the country, around the states, prices are lower? Granted, right now we have problems because of the war in Iran. I get that. But 2 years ago, I showed you a video. I had to take my daughter across the country to Georgia for job opportunities that were not available here in California, in the medical field of all things. And across the country, the average price of gas, even at your crappiest gas stations, and you know what I mean by that, not the the cheapy side road ones. I'm talking about the Shell Chevron that seem to always have the dollar near costlier gas than anybody else. $2.56 a gallon. Wow. That was 2 years ago. Last year, matter of fact, this year, traveled down there to make sure the daughter was doing fine, reestablished, had to do some movements. And I showed you a video from Costco. Gas prices at $2.46 a gallon, 245.9 as they call it. Mr. Hilton wants you to be satisfied with frozen gas at $3 a gallon as if he did something for you. I saw $2.46 in Georgia. Anywhere else that I see that's lower, if they can do it, why can't California? If gas in Colorado is $2, why not here in California? That's my goal, is the lowest price available that I find or I hear from anywhere else in this country for California. You want to settle for mediocrity, there's your guy. Crowd-packed, abortion, doesn't stand very firm with Second Amendment rights. Hell, you got videos out there now championing the bit from Mr. Hilton about how he doesn't feel people should own weapons, as he used to describe and explain himself in England over weapon ownership. So for you 2A advocates that are really falling head over heels for that gentleman, you need to look a little bit closer before you find out the weapon you have today might be the thing that lands you in jail tomorrow, or you can cry as you give it up to some seller or to some acquirer of your arms for disposal. But that's his goal. That's upsetting. And now we move on to Chad. Oh, Chad, woohoo, he's really making a splash, seizing ballots, because there was a discrepancy in the count. But what the hell are you doing, Chad? First, you seized the ballots because it was a crime. The crime was somebody miscounted? I didn't know that was a crime. Voter discrepancies? Oh, okay. And then you seized another 500,000 ballots over Prop 50? Of all things, you're making a big splash in the headlines. Kind of voter tinkering, if you ask me. Hogging the airwaves. That's fine, whatever. It's what you do in your position. One of the things I'm going to work for, though, is to make sure that you as a sheriff are never able to ever again run for a governorship status and still be a sheriff getting paid to campaign up and down the state on the taxpayer's dime. Need to change that crap right away. Talk about fraud, waste, and abuse. We're looking at it every day wherever you are opening your mouth. Death row inmates. Yeah, we still have them. Hell, Governor Newsom's trying to get rid of them off death row and put them into general pop, released to the public, whatever the excuse is that he's trying to pull. But I tell you what, when those inmates burp, somebody's there making sure they don't die. Because they're in prison. Hardcore prison. That's what they say. That's what they claim. Death row inmates, right? Got a video of your jail literally having a man die in it for failure to provide medical attention. Not talking to the individual, talking to his cellmate? I'm dying, but you talk to Bob? Hey, I'm Bob. Leo's okay. Doesn't need any medications. Yep, trust me, because I said so. What kind of BS is that, sir? It's your damn jail. Oh, but you're the coroner, too. Well, hell, that makes it even better. Shit, you can just write up whatever you want to write up as the excuse why that man died. So now your happy ass is in a lawsuit. You'll be the first governor candidate to get sued and be dragged to trial. Maybe you'll lose that sheriff status after all. But that's 20% more in paychecks for you for the next 2 years. $750,000 salary, and I'm pretty sure it's probably $750,000 pension with coverage for your family and medical and everything else that most people in your county don't get. Rumors abound of child trafficking going on in your city, in your Riverside County, FBI had to come in there and crack that because you couldn't find that type of activity, but it was all around you? Yeah, we've heard those reports. Okay, that's old news. People dying in your jails, large volumes, lots of investigations. Nobody's getting dragged to court. Sheriffs whoring themselves out with their wives on OnlyFans, MySpace. Glad that everybody liked you. At least 12% of the population of your eligible voters liked you enough to vote. And after all, it doesn't matter how you win as long as you won, even if it's by 1.1 vote or anything else. But you couldn't even secure more than 11% out of your own damn city, your own damn county to vote for your happy ass in 2022. Don't brag like you're all that in a bag of chitlins, because you're not. And I know it just as much as you know it. That's why your happy ass won't meet me on the debate stage. You'll play with Steve, but hell, that's like two toddlers going at it, but you won't play with me. Why is that? Your 30 years of experience as a sheriff is better than my 36 years all-around experience, and I'm a retired military veteran. Oh, I'm pretty sure I can hold my own against your happy ass, sir, any day of the week. It's not ego, it's not bravado, it's fact. But you've been coddled by the GOP, so you're up there in the top two. I mean, that's what they've done for you. Why not? Got a freaking hornet over here trying to build a nest. I'll deal with him shortly. Illegal alien. While we're on that topic, bending a knee to BLM? Yeah, bending a knee to the mob. Yeah, we've seen those stories. Okay. Bending a knee to the trans world. Yeah, you gave them a special liaison on your department. That's nice. A little bit racist if you ask me. I don't see African American liaison, Hispanic liaison, Asian liaison. I don't see Russian liaison, Ukrainian liaison, anybody else of that matter on your staff. How much did you get paid for that BS? Who'd you promote for that? How many of your family members seem to be in law enforcement or on the bench? Heard some stories about that one too. The brother on the bench helping out the CPS people. Ooh. There's an investigation waiting to happen. But hey, people love you as a sheriff, right? I mean, after all, you got 30 years of experience in Riverside County. It's the only experience you know is what the bathroom looks like. Nothing else. Don't know anything else about California other than it's a big state. But hey, that's something else for another day. But the one that kills me is this crap about aliens, illegal aliens, unauthorized visitors to our state, the undocumented, call them whatever the hell you want to call them. And your stance there. Oh, you got caught talking about illegal aliens, how you wanted to give them amnesty, and then when you got too much heat for that, you backpedaled and kissed everybody's ass and say that, no, that's not what I said. No, that is what you said. You want to get rid of the ones that are in jail that commit serious crimes. But let's not forget, folks, 5 weeks ago, if not 6 weeks ago, Christine Nome, before she got fired, issued an order that she wanted 33,000 illegals being held in our jails and prison system gone and turned over to ICE. What happened? No one has done anything towards reducing and removing that figure from our prison system. Chad estimates have at least 1,100 people in his system. Nope, haven't done a thing, haven't removed them at all, haven't turned them over to ICE, haven't gotten rid of them from the state. Those are the criminal elements you keep bragging about, Chad, that you would help remove. But you haven't because you won't. Your ass is all good to go with amnesty. Now, the other funny part about this is you want people to vote for you, and then you're hearing folks complain up and down the state about how illegals are driving up our costs, taking resources, securing welfare benefits and everything else, but you're the guy, instead of trying to alleviate that problem as governor, would encourage it by trying to force and or tell people, as long as they don't commit crimes, they're okay to stay here. Let's put another 4 million of those type of individuals in our state and see how long that lasts. And the party's been protecting your ass because they know damn well if you get in front of anybody who knows what they're doing, you're in trouble as a candidate. But that's the option that we have. The only two things that people see. 33,000 people in their jails, you're damn right I'm going to turn those folks over to ICE. And if the jailers won't do it, the sheriffs won't do it, then we'll have the CHP do it and turn them over to ICE. And if the judges complain a little bit too hard, maybe we'll have that constitutional crisis of slapping the cuffs on a couple of them for aiding and abetting in human trafficking and protecting and harboring illegal aliens in the country. Violation of their oath of office and their duties and performance. No one's really tested that theory. Maybe it's time somebody did. But you got to have gonads to do that. The difference between you and me, I'm trying to fix the state. You're just trying to get a job with a bigger paycheck, a lot more influence for your buddies. Where do we go from here? That's a song, by the way. Alicia Keys sang that song, Where Do We Go From Here? This is a pretty good song. I like it. But where do we go from here? These two gentlemen are horrible for our state. One wants to let it just be overrun, and if you think Trump, when he goes away, it's going to stop there, no, the floodgates are going to be opened again. Everybody's going to be allowed to pour in. Amnesty will be the word of the day. As long as they don't commit any other crimes, they're okay. And even if they do commit other crimes, we're not going to ship them off to ICE because we're not doing it now. But that's what you want, right, folks? That's what you're looking for. Chad Bianco, Mr. Amnesty, give it all to them. Citizens of other nations first, you second. Steve Hilton, I'm the guy with the big plan. Yeah, the big plan is taking California into bankruptcy court. Freezing prices, pushing the abortion issue. We won't even talk about that little cutie show that your wife got involved in. That's a whole other topic of conversation. Her and her influences. And now we see you trying to push Mr. Hilton, a non-party preference candidate, who has openly said her idea is to de-annex the Pacific Palisades area from Los Angeles, cut it off, and make it its own little state so that we can push Spencer Pratt to run for mayorship of that town, newly created, and then we can put Karen Bass in place again as the mayor of LA. And if Karen does this, then she'll ensure that Mr. Caruso takes over as city manager. Well, you better figure out what the city manager gets to do, because I tell you what, as an unelected official, he seems to have more power than your LA City Council. And you're talking about a lot of real estate coming up for grabs. Gee, follow the math. Title 18 USC Code 599, Title 18 USC Code 600. Violations of A and B. Steve Hilton keeps pushing Elaine Colati, the no-party preference character, to be on a debate stage with them, with Republicans and Democrats. For what? She's no-party preference. The whole reason why they have a no-party preference candidate, because they don't subscribe to Democrats or Republican viewpoints. Duh. But you want her on the stage, and she's the one trying to undercut an election in LA for the mayorship. You don't have to believe me on that. Follow the post that I've been making, included with the rhetoric that they themselves said on that particular forum more than 3 days ago. Spencer Pratt, you still haven't gotten a hold of me. You must think I'm full of shit and I don't know what I'm talking about, or you're part of the problem. And you're already aware of it, so you're going along with it. Maybe you don't realize what's happening. Maybe you do realize what's happening. And maybe you just don't give a damn. But you folks are getting ready to re-elect Karen Bass. with the help of some shady folks in the background making promises they shouldn't be making on a campaign trail and using the influence of their candidacy to do it. You can say it's just innocent conversations, but you put it out there in the air as if you're already working on some crap like that. So yeah, it is election interference. And yeah, it has been reported, as far as I know. You wonder why they call us the Uniparty? There's why. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. I haven't heard it before, so I'll have to give it some thought. See how illegal it is. Maybe my AG can cover it for me. Just like the AG is going to cover for you when you try and take California bankrupt, sir. That's not a governor candidate. That's a con artist trying to get into office for personal goals. And the party's protected his ass the whole way also. So, April 10th is coming up right around a quarter. 10, 11, 12, 13, about 2 weeks away now. Cheyenne will not be there as a governor candidate. Oh, but he might be there, just not as governor candidate, because he's not on the list that the Secretary of State has released. You don't think that hurt? It cost $5,000 to put your name on that list. It cost nearly $12,000 to put a candidate statement out. I'm pretty sure he did both. That's almost, fast math, $18,000 rounded up. Committed to something that you can no longer be a participant in, not including all the other things you've been doing. It'll be interesting to see. Certain folks can't be there. I'm hearing word that groypers are not allowed. Nationalist candidates will not be allowed to speak, even though they have the required votes to do so. Woohoo, isn't that funny? But let's be honest, Mr. Serpa, you're not a nationalist candidate. You're a socialist candidate. You've already made that statement online last year. We know what you're all about. You're just a feather in the wind, blowing whichever way it takes you. Don't be overly impressed about that. I'm a combat Marine veteran. So what? I've known a few of them too. 3 tours is what one gentleman did. His mom I knew very well, because she was around here in Sacramento campaigning and championing for the military during that time, and that was against Iraq on the first go-around. So be a little realistic when you say what you say. God bless you for joining. God bless you for serving. You did your 4 years. But like I told you way back when, if I'd have been your squad leader, I'd have drummed your ass out of service and got you that dishonorable discharge. And there's a reason for that. Folks can always ask if they want to know. But it's out there on the internet world, so it really doesn't matter. I'll answer. I doubt you will, very honestly. 10 through the 12th of April, California GOP. Ooh, a lot of things are getting spun upside down. What else can potentially go wrong for candidates in the next 2 weeks, much less the next month and a half? April, May, June, first 2 days, first 6 days, June election. So we still have 2 months and a couple of days left to make noise, change opinions, and impact things. Folks want to have a conversation? By all means, let's have that conversation. Stop hiding your candidates before you get embarrassed in voting for who you thought was great when they're really not. Gentleman can't pull more than 13% in his own county to get reelected. You honestly believe he's holding at 15, 16, 17% in the state of California? Highly unlikely. And the other one, he's everything but a Republican in name and stature and mentality and everything else, but you still think that he's a MAGA supporter, 1,000% behind President Trump? Okay, I believe 1,000% behind President Trump. He'll always be behind somebody, because that's what he is, a behind type guy. But anyway, Another day, another story. My name is Leo Naranjo IV, candidate for governor in the 2026 election in California. Look me up, Leo Naranjo, the number 4gov.com. Vet it out. Ask questions. Put them on there. Support the campaign. Check it out and see the difference between the establishment's pick telling you who you can choose to vote for governor, or moi, little old me, who's here for a reason. First and foremost, for the citizens of this state. There's no BS here. There's no theatrics here. This state has a problem, and if I'm elected, my job is to fix it for you, because that's what you would elect me to do, and that's exactly what I will do. Time to go get a wasp. I think he's a rhino. You guys have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.